Offer lifted, 25 bid.
Welcome to PriceSquawk.
So what I'm going to show in this video is how you can use PriceSquawk to help you maintain an objective mental map of the market, and also how it can help you to time your trades by filtering the PriceSquawk trade sounds so that certain conditions need to be met before you hear trade sounds. And you can think of it as a highly advanced time and sales that is filtered by a number of conditions. So there are tools that give you trade sounds and audible trade sounds, such as the Jigsaw block trade alerts or your X-Trader trade sounds, and they tend to only let you filter your tape by the size of trades that are occurring, and in the case of the recon tape, the size of the reconstructed trades that are occurring. So if we add PriceSquawk into the mix,
Welcome to PriceSquawk.
we can filter our trade sounds by a whole number of dimensions, such as how much volume is accumulated at price and how much volume is occurring in a certain time window, how much volume is accumulating at a cluster of prices. So what this lets you do is create a number of conditions for PriceSquawk to monitor for you, so that when you hear your trade sounds, you know that we have, for instance, had 1,000 contracts absorbed at a price, and there is definitely an increase in volume flow over time. And on top of that, we can add in our large trade and buy and sell alerts to give us some indication of what the larger traders are aggressively doing. So I'm using smart volume mode to measure the volume accumulation across a range of prices.
100 left.
And in this instance, we're using the last 5 prices. PriceSquawk will accumulate volume at price. We're using auto volume to tell us whether volume flow is increasing over time. I'll refer you to a link for how that works, but it just compares snapshots of the volume traded in the last 30 seconds or 60 seconds versus previous snapshots taken in a larger time frame.
50 left.
And those
100 hit.
50 lift and 100 hit alerts are just
50 left.
your run-of-the-mill time and sales alerts,
100
and that's
hit.
no different to if you were to enable
50,
block trade alerts in your recon tape, except for that we can set 3 different tiers of alerts here in PriceSquawk. So let's put this to work.
200 hit.
What we're going to hear is always we'll be alerted to large trader activity by the hit and lift alerts, but we're listening out in particular for our buy and sell trade sounds. So in this scenario, we're using 2 different sound effects, footsteps and muted trumpet.
100 hit.
And we're going to wait till we hear indication
100 left.
of the conditions we've set for volume accumulated at prices, and I'll just refer to that as volume absorption,
50
and volume
100
traded over a time window increasing, and I'll refer to that as volume flow. So increased volume flow and increased absorption at prices. If we're not hearing trade sounds, then we haven't met any significant milestones in regards to those 2
50 left. 50 hit.
volume
1000
states.
absorbed. 50 left.
Okay, so now we're hearing some very brief buy sounds. That's telling us that we have traders lifting, and we've also seen absorption at prices.
50 hit.
We've also enabled volume alerts, so PriceSquawk will commentate
50 hit.
the different milestones that are reached in volume at price and smart volume, and that's what you hear when you hear the 1,000 absorbed. That means 1,000 contracts have absorbed at price using the smart volume accumulation. Now, if we're hearing too many of those hit and lift alerts, we can change our thresholds. So we only hear alerts when more significant events occur. So now we'll be alerted to 100, 200, and 400 contract trade sizes. So we have two prices there, and you can cross-reference it with what you see in the PriceSquawk ladder over here. It's showing us that this is the volume accumulated in the current price cluster, and when I refer to cluster, we're referring to the 5 prices that PriceSquawk is maintaining
100 left.
a volume accumulation count.
$100 hit. 1,000 absorbed.
So this is a good scenario where we would like to hear confirmation by our trade sounds that some volume has been absorbed by some large traders. There's new volume flow coming into the market,
100 left.
and that can help us time some trades. Just adds an extra level of information objectively to your decision making while paying attention to the DOM or tape. Now, a lot of traders will also have correlated markets such as the Bobble and Shats open in this scenario, and you can have a PriceSquawk open similarly for each of those markets to communicate back to you certain conditions based on volume flow and volume absorption. And just for a final reminder, when we hear these sounds, that means that two definite conditions of volume flow and volume absorption have been met. So
100 left.
finally, we'll be able to tell
100 hit.
as
1,000 absorbed.
the market starts to range that if volume is being absorbed across all the prices, and that might be an area that you actually want to stay out of the market until some more price discovery comes into effect. So just cross-referencing with our PriceSquawk ladder here, you can tell through your trade sounds and through what is in the display there that we're now seeing absorption occur across all 5 prices, and that kind of makes it hard to draw a line into the sand for low risk entries other than breakouts in this scenario. So there's another use that you can use for deciding on the current context that you're going to trade. For instance, we're hearing trade sounds across all prices with increased volume flow.
100 left.
We might want to wait until
100 hit.
the price action moves out of that range before looking for lower risk trade entries.
2,000 absorbed.
So hopefully that gives you some ideas of how you can incorporate PriceSquawk into your trading setup for monitoring volume flow and volume absorption, and it could give you some ideas of how you can add this particular PriceSquawk setup to your trading to time trades.
2,000 absorbed. 100 hit.
Thank you for watching.